Hello everybody, how is it going? And we have got some pretty substantial and juicy rumors floating around about the Mesa Boogie Mark VII. I'm going to go over all of the good details that we have so far. Guys, if first time here, or if you've been here before, make sure you are subscribed. I do videos like this. I do mixing tutorials. I do giveaways from time to time. I don't want you to miss any of that cool stuff, so make sure you are subscribed. So let's jump right in and check out exactly what is going on with the Mesa Mark VII. I already know what a few of you are probably already thinking. What exactly happened to the Mesa Mark VI? Did it come out and I not hear about it? Actually, no. What has been going on currently is it's been posted on 7string.org and it's been posted on the gear page. So you can take everything I'm about to tell you with the absolute smallest minute grain of salt. But these leaks look pretty authentic, just authentic. It's kind of funny considering Gibson bought Mesa and they're all about playing authentic. Anyway, sorry about that. So the leaks that have come out have basically said that the Mesa Mark VI was supposed to come out during COVID, but they actually scrapped that idea. So they decided to go with the Mesa Mark VII. So they're kind of doing that like Windows and Apple's thing where they call each iteration of what they make, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then they skip numbers. I'm waiting for Mesa to do the Mesa Mark series like Apple does every year and just drop the number off of it. From what I've read on 7string.org is that maybe they went with the 7 because they're trying to make emphasis of the 2 Roman numerals, because one of Mesa's most popular amps is their Mark II series. You have the Mark IIc, Mark IIc Plus, which has been used by Metallica, and they reissued the John Petrucci signature amp, the JP2C. So, you know, a lot of that 2 alliteration going on there. So maybe they wanted to kind of capture that. So that's why they called it the 7. I think that's okay, but I don't like that. Like, just stick with the numbering scheme. You've been doing that for nearly like 50 years. So just keep the numbering scheme. This is what has been leaked so far. So I'm just going to read it off to you and I'll put it on screen. External switching jack options and or MIDI switchable programming via control change and programmable change messages with 256 preset locations, MIDI in, out and through, MIDI channel and store switches, control channels 1, 2, 3, reverb, effects loop, and graphic EQ. This is nice. Mesa is putting MIDI functionality in it. This is the first Mark series that's ever gonna have it, and the JP2C was the very first Mesa amp period to have it. Mesa's kind of like Apple. They take forever to implement stuff that's been around for ages that people want. I'm glad MIDI's finally here on the Mark series. This do-it-all tone machine delivers legendary Mark performance and adds 2 new sounds, the throwback yet infamous Mark IIb and the new modern high-gain mode full of character and attitude aptly named the Mark VII. Going on to the actual channel. Channel 1, which I assume is going to be the lowest gain channel, because that's how it was on the 5. 1, 2, 3 went, that's kind of how the gain levels went. The channel 1 is clean, fat, or crunch. That's probably the lowest gain. Channel 2 is probably like your, kind of like your crunch channel, if you want to call it that. You have fat, crunch, and or Mark 7 TM. It's kind of weird that they're putting the 6 on the channel 2, because you would assume that, I don't know, that's kind of weird to me. So I guess the Mark 7 is going to be like a low gain ish kind of amp, kind of like a hard rock dad rock amp, I guess. I don't know. In channel 3 you're going to have the Mark IIb, the Mark IIc Plus, or the Mark IV. So that is what has been leaked so far, and this looks pretty legit because it has the same Mesa font. It looks like this is directly leaked off of the site that is going to be leaking. Now, what is the proof that this would be coming from Mesa? Well, they've been teasing, we have new things coming, make sure you sign up so you don't get, so you can, get information about it, which, I mean, every company does that. But if you look on their Instagram, since March 1st was Mark 1, March 2nd was a Mark 2, March 3rd was a Mark 3, March 4th was a Mark 4, and then today, as I'm filming this, March 5th is the Mark 5. So I assume tomorrow is going to be a coming soon placeholder post, and then for the 7th, we will get the launch of the brand new Mark 7. Another thing that I've seen that people are pretty upset about is that they got rid of the extreme mode on channel 3, which was on the Mark 5. A lot of people love that extreme mode. It was kind of the best high gain channel that you had on the Mark V. People really liked the big Mark V. I've seen a lot of lukewarmness about the smaller amp. That's just from what I've seen. I'm sure if you like your smaller Mark V, let me know in the comments down below. So my initial thoughts on this, I'm really glad that they're putting MIDI in it. Every amp needs this. It makes things super easy and controllable. One thing that kind of is weird to me is that they say it's a do-it-all amp. So to me, it seems that they're not pushing this toward any one specific market or any one specific type of thing. It seems that they want it to do everything. And to me, I don't know if this amp is going to be kind of like the high gain beast that the 5 had, meaning that, you know, they're checking the extreme mode out of here. So the extreme mode was the coolest high gain mode that you had on the Mark V, and it looks like it's not going to be here. So the new Mark VII mode is going to be on channel 2, which on the Mark IV and the Mark V, channel 2 is like your normal to crunch channel, if you want to call it that. It's basically what it is on every other amp. It would kind of be a crunch channel. It's your mid step up and gain. Now that is on channel, the Mark VII's on channel 2, so I don't exactly know how much gain or how much oomph you can barely get out of it. On channel 3, you have the Mark IIB. I know the Mark IIB is one of the famous Marks. If you want the history of the Mark amps, I will put a link to that at the end of my video. I did a whole breakdown on the Mark series. I also did the Rectifier series of solo heads. If you want to check that out, I went super deep into all of it. So, you know, the 2B is pretty popular. The 2C Plus is probably the most popular Mark, in my opinion. And then they're also putting Mark IV, which the Mark IV was decently popular for its time whenever it came out. But a lot of people love the 2C Plus. I mean, I saw one on Facebook the other day for like $12K because it was immaculate and untouched or whatever. But a victim that no one's talking about in all of this is, what about the Mark III? You don't see too many people rave about the Mark III. It's kind of like the forgotten Mark amp, because you don't see many people talk about that. So you have the 2B. Now the 2B, I think it came with like different stripes. I think it was that particular one. So correct me if I'm wrong below, but I think that one had like blue. And they did like change things around with it so much. It had like blue and green and all the different stuff like that. So I think that is what they're gonna do with the Mark 2B thing. 2C Plus, that's cool. You could also get that in JP2C. Having the Mark IV in the Mark VII, that's cool too. I just don't understand why I didn't bring Extreme over, because that was a new cool thing for the 5, and it's like they kind of left it behind. Unless the 7 mode is going to replace the Extreme mode. You also have 2 fats. Like, why not just put on channel 1, just do clean, fat, and crunch? It's confusing to me. It really is. This is the first amp that Mesa is going to put out after it's been bought by Gibson. I'm sure this has been in long production before Gibson bought them, but I'm sure Gibson buying them slowed things down, because Gibson has their own agenda for Mesa now. They're not on their own. They've been bought, so Gibson's going to steer them wherever they want to go. And like I said, I'm expecting this to launch on the 7th. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about the new Mark VII amp? Do you like that they skipped the 6? Do you like the channels that are reportedly going to be in it? Let me know everything about your more comments down below. And guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. If you thought it was cool, leave me a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, I'd really greatly appreciate it. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.